Greetings and welcome to lecture number 16 on fluid dynamics. This session we are going to discuss the turbulent flow theory. Turbulent flow is considered as the most happening flow in practice. In fact, all practical flows are most of the cases they are turbulent flow, whether it is internal flow or external flow is concerned. Unlike a laminar flow, because the laminar flow is also called as a predictable flow, we can easily predict and we can analyze the laminar flow using a theoretical relations. But unlike the laminar flow, the turbulent flow cannot be analyzed using a theoretical equation only. It is based on both analytical analysis and the measurements. So most of the semi-empirical relations are available. So these relations are generally obtained using a dimensional analysis technique. And then the constant of these analysis, constant of these equations are obtained by using experimental data. So turbulent flow is mainly characterized as random, irregular, and a haphazard movement of the fluid particles. It has been observed during experimentation that at any fixed point in a turbulent fluid, the velocity and consequently the pressure fluctuates with the time about the mean value. So suppose this is a mean value, continuously the velocity fluctuates about the mean value. So the instantaneous velocity at any time at a given point can be expressed as instantaneous velocity u, that is equal to mean velocity u bar plus fluctuating component u dash. So where u is instantaneous velocity, u bar is the time average or temporal mean velocity, and u dash, that is the velocity fluctuation of fluctuating components. Similarly, the fluctuating components along y and z directions are v is equal to v bar plus v dash, w is equal to w bar plus w dash. So unlike laminar flow, the instantaneous velocity is obtained by considering the mean velocity and plus or minus the fluctuating component. Resultant velocity is under root u square plus v square plus w square. That can be obtained like this. So velocity profile for turbulent flow. Typically, the velocity profile for fully developed turbulent flows are given in the figure. Note that the velocity profile is parabolic in laminar flow that we have studied. But in turbulent flow, it is much fuller or much flattened with a sharp drop near the pipe wall. So more flat curve is there. That is because of the intense mixing of the fluid particles in perpendicular direction flow. So turbulent flow along a wall can be considered to consist of 4 regions. So if we analyze this wall, because here most of the cases for this particular portion, almost 80% portion, the velocity is equal to the mean velocity or the average velocity. So there is one portion or region at the near the vicinity of the wall. So this region is mainly consists of 4 layers on the wall. The very thin layer next to the wall, so very thin layer next to the wall, where the viscous effects are dominant, is known as a viscous sublayer. It is also called as a laminar sublayer because in this particular zone, the velocity varies linearly with r. So here the linear variation is there. So this is adjacent to the wall. The viscous sublayer is formed, where the flow is also streamlined. Next to the viscous sublayer is the buffer layer, in which the turbulent effects are becoming significant. So more eddies are formed in the buffer layer. So where the turbulent characteristics are significant, but the flow is still dominated by viscous effect. So this is called as a buffer layer. So this is next to a viscous sublayer. Above the buffer layer is the overlap or transition region. So this is the third layer that is called as a transition layer. It is also called as a inertial sublayer, in which the turbulent effects are much more significant, but still not dominant. This is overlap, or we can say the transition layer. And above that, that outer layer, that is actually called as a turbulent layer in the remaining part of the flow, in which the turbulent effects are dominant over the molecular diffusion, that is viscous effects. So more molecular momentum uh, observed in this particular zone. So this is about the turbulent boundary layer, which mainly consists of these four sublayers, that is viscous sublayer, buffer layer, overlap layer, and turbulent layer. In viscous sublayer, only the laminar flow is dominant. Buffer layer, there is some significant effect of turbulent characteristics. Overlap, this is a transition field where the turbulent layers are more, but not that, still not dominant. Still viscous effects are present there. And beyond that, there is only remaining part of the flow. Turbulent effects are dominant over the viscous effects. So this is about the velocity profile for turbulent flow. So there are some points which are worth noting about the turbulent flow. Velocity distribution in turbulent flow is more uniform than in laminar flow. It's flattened. In turbulent flow, the velocity gradient near the boundary shall be quite large. We can see the velocity gradient because immediately near the vicinity, there is a rise of velocity, the mainstream velocity. So du by dy is comparatively large as compared to the laminar flow, resulting the more shear stress is there. The shear stress generally in turbulent flow is calculated by using this expression. Tau is equal to mu t upon da by u by da by y, where u is the mean velocity. Where mu t is also called as a eddy viscosity, that is the viscosity due to the eddies. So this value is considerable. That's why the shear stress value is also considerable as compared to the laminar flow. That's why the pressure or frictional resistances or frictional losses are also more in turbulent flow. In turbulent flow, the flatness of the velocity distribution curve, so this is the flatness of the velocity, is because of beyond this particular distribution in the core region. This is a core region. The flatness in the core region is because of the mixing of fluid layers and exchange of momentum between them. So because of the fluctuations, so if you see the movement of the, there is a continuous fluctuation in the flow. And because of this intense mixing, we can see the flatness of the velocity curve. So more or less in the core region, the velocity is more or less same. Only at the end region, there is a slight viscous effects are dominant. So that's why the shear stress value here is considerable because velocity gradient is large. Because velocity gradient is nothing but da by u by da by y. Da by u is mean velocity to the lowest velocity. But dy is very low. So within a short distance, this mean velocity is reached. That's why the mu by dy is very large. At the same time, the eddy viscosity is also very large. That's why the shear stress is significant in turbulent flows. Consequently, the drag force, consequently, the frictional resistance. The velocity distribution is a parabolic in nature in laminar flow that we have seen, and which tends to follow power law and the logarithmic in the turbulent flow. So most of the turbulent flow relations, this particular equation is used to calculate the local velocity, which is given by the maximum velocity into y by r raised to 1 by 7. This is a power law. So generally the constant of this power is considered as 7. So for most of the turbulent flow analysis, the velocity distribution is obtained. Local velocity is obtained by using this expression. So this is all about the turbulent flow and their characteristics. At the end of this particular session, you will be able to describe the turbulent flow and its characteristics, and also exhibit the characteristic of velocity distribution of turbulent flow. So these are the 2-3 slides are sufficient because this is a theoretical treatment is only in the undergraduate syllabus. There are no numerical associated with turbulent flow. Only the numerical on laminar flows are there in the syllabus. So turbulent flow is only a theoretical treatment. So this much theory is sufficient for as far as the turbulent flow is concerned. So with this, we have completed this session. Thank you very much.